Kia Motors came into the Indian market in 2019, and ever since then, they've had a very good run. Now, with the COVID 19 lockdown in place, things have changed a lot for them as well. Today on Mashable Outreach, we've got Mr. Manohar Bhatt, Head of Marketing and Sales for Kia Motors India, who talks to us about how COVID 19 impacted their business in India. Thank you, Mr. Manohar, for joining us today on the show. How has work picked up after some relaxations in the lockdown?
I think the term you use, relaxation, is a bit, I think you're stretching the word a bit, I think, in the meaning of the word. Anyway, yes, I mean, what actually has happened is we are it's looking much better than what it was. In one way of speaking, yes, anything will be better than what happened in April. April, we are absolutely at the nadir, zero sales. So everything is better than that. But yes, what we are seeing is that we have a definite uptick. The customers are coming back to the showrooms, and the purchases and the bookings are definitely they're looking up over the last 3 weeks. So things are looking better. So hopefully this trend will continue. So it's a bit early to say because it finally depends on how the overall economy does. But there are many green shoots as of now, at least as far as our figures are concerned. So we are cautiously optimistic for the future.
Online sales and what is Kia's plan ahead with that? You were amongst one of the first manufacturers to launch a completely online sale portal with the Kia Seltos.
Oh yes, even before the pandemic, actually, when we started our Seltos sales, so I think roughly more than 15% of the bookings came from online. I mean, customers are just only booking online. So this has actually held us in good stead during this pandemic also. Customer also knew our system. So we did see a increase in the number of bookings online, obviously, during this time. Obviously, whatever bookings we got during this time were online. So the percentage has definitely gone up. And currently also, I think there are many customers who are a bit worried or who would rather not venture out so much as possible, try to remain safe and at home and things like that. So we have definitely seen an increase in the online bookings after the pandemic hit actually. Of course, initially the initial lot of booking, the first lot of booking also were I mean, there were much more online during that time. It went down. And again, during this COVID period, again we are seeing a slight uptick in the online bookings. Having said that, yeah, I think it's going to be, like you said, a new normal. People will definitely, I think, be going more towards online processes and bookings, and even maybe the final retailing and the financing the vehicle also. I think will be done more and more online going forward. I look at the process as starting, say, maybe even a year before he actually purchases the car. So and this shift from brick and mortar to online, I think, has been going on more and more over the last couple of years. Now the customer who walks into the showroom, he normally does it maybe once or twice in his entire buying process. Before that, he would have researched the vehicle thoroughly online. Absolutely, he would have checked out all the websites, all the comparisons. So he actually, in many cases, he might know as much as my dealer salesperson, or more, in fact, in many cases. So he is much more well informed than he was earlier because of his online your research and his online work. Then after that, he normally would come to a showroom, possibly, like you said, at least at the end of the day, once he has finalized, he's made up his mind on a particular variant and a brand, or at least a brand, he'll come to the showroom to maybe check out the variants or the options he's got, how the color looks, and maybe for a test drive. Test drive also nowadays can be ordered from his house, from his home. So that also he cannot come to the shop for that. But having said that, yes, ultimately the customer does come at least for the delivery to check out the vehicle once before he purchases it, kick the tire, so to speak, check it out, and then purchase it. So normally you would still find that a customer does come to the brick and mortar once or twice during the entire the buying process, the buying journey. And my personal feeling is, irrespective of whatever changes will take place because of this COVID as well, at least one visit to the brick and mortar showroom will still be a given, I think, even going forward in the foreseeable future. But this too high involvement of purchase, this much of investment also is too much for a customer to just say, okay, without physically seeing it, I'll purchase it. That normally will not happen, I believe, in the foreseeable future. Like it doesn't happen here in the US, I believe. So
How has your dealer partner response been like because of the COVID-19 pandemic?
the dealers actually are suffering a lot because of first of all, okay, they have serious liquidity issues.
Yeah.
They're not doing any operations, but yet they have to pay the rent for their premises. They have to pay their employees. They have to pay the banks for the interest cost without any business happening. So we did help them out by first, okay, the lowest hanging fruit was to make sure that whatever were due to them in terms of warranty payments and the other payments were immediately released to them. Then we also supported them on the interest cost for this lockdown period. But they were paying interest to the banks for the inventory that they had.
Yeah.
So we have supported them on that, and going forward we'll be making some more support available to them for the manpower, among other things.
So, what do you think? How much of a total drop in the auto sector can be expected because of this pandemic?
For the entire duration, I think till the beginning of this month, I think 6th or 7th, when the lockdown was finally lifted, then we started as in we started getting our people on board and checking out our suppliers and all that. So we started production after that, sometime after that, once we got all the manpower in place and our suppliers also could get into place. Right now, we are running a one shift operation because the current the conditions don't allow for anything more than that. The manpower, especially the manpower and the suppliers, and also importantly the demand. Demand also, like once it starts supporting a two-shift operation, then we will get in there. But then yes, we will have issues. I'm very sure about the manpower also. So would our suppliers also, because it's a if I may say so, cooperative or a very everyone's interdependent in this. I depend on my suppliers who will depend on their sub suppliers. So one link in this chain is like having a tough time is broken, and the entire chain gets impacted.
All right, so the carnival was launched just a month before we went into lockdown. Now, what's the strategy to boost carnival's sales again? Is there a marketing campaign in plan?
Yeah, actually, it's a very unfortunate the timing of the lockdown, especially unfortunate for the carnival, because sort of it's got caught in limbo. In fact, because we were just in the middle of a campaign, then we had halted all of a sudden. It came to a grinding halt, as they say. So right now, we're just picking up the pieces from what it was earlier, and we're trying to now see how we can, because reaching out for this customer especially, a touch and feel of the vehicle is most critical. So a guy who has experienced the vehicle is sold on it. The issue now is actually the problem actually is reaching out to the customer physically in the sense of giving the vehicle, and many customers are not really in a very receptive mood to actually trying something some other vehicle just now. So there are so many of these health issues going around there. So it's a bit of a issue now in actually reaching out to customers, but I think we are on the job. So by and by, once things improve, we will be seeing more of this, I think, bearing fruit and more traction on this.
All right, so tell us about the Kia Sonet. Of course, it's a very highly anticipated product. How has COVID-19 impacted your launch strategy around that?
And the Sonet did have a very good response when we exhibited it in the Auto Expo. And we intend to go with the plan, I mean, the launch plan that we had mentioned earlier. It will definitely be launched during the coming festival period. That is the August to October period. Is definitely we are going to launch it during that time. So this is going to be a leader in its segments in terms of its design, in terms of the features that we're going to be offering. There are many segment first, and some I think even maybe vehicle first features. I mean, across all models also, it is going to be a first time. The many features are going to be first time for the country.
Yeah.
So we believe that the customer is going to get one hell of a good deal on this vehicle. Overall, as a package, is going to be phenomenally attractive for them. So we expect a very good response for this. And well, seeing is going to be believing. So just watch this space. Maybe in 2 months' time, less than 2 months' time, you'll come to see, know more about it. And I'm sure it's going to be causing a lot of excitement in the market.
What are Kia's future plans for the Indian market? Do we have the Kia Telluride and the Kia Soul EV coming in anytime soon?
Yes, I mean, our problem is actually a surfeit of riches, as they say. Because last year, or rather this year, 2 of our vehicles got global awards. Like the Telluride got the WCOTY, the World Car of the Year award. and the Soul was the urban electric, I mean, the vehicle of the year. So we got a large number of vehicles on which we can actually, with which you can attract the Indian customer. Our problem is we can do only one at a time. I can't introduce two vehicles suddenly and say, okay, well, so we have to actually very carefully look at what the Indian market, Indian consumer would want, especially after a terrible event like this. I'm very sure the market also would, the market dynamics have been impacted. The customer choice also possibly could be changing. So we would rather try and take a look at how the market develops before coming to the product after the Sonnet. We would every 6 months we said we'll be launching a vehicle, but now I think having this COVID thing coming in, so it will probably have to look at our options once again, check out what the customer wants more closely once more, and then come to a conclusion on this. But like I said, we got too many attractive products which can, I think, wow the Indian customer.
Tell us about the auto industry in general, the slump. What are your projections for the new normal?
One thing I can say for sure, okay, I'm not sure again, but next April we'll see a huge increase, maybe infinite increase, because we started with a zero base in April. So whatever we sell next year, April is going to be one hell of a jump on whatever we did last year. That's the only, I think, sure thing I can say. Otherwise, everything else, see, it depends on the economy, because the car demand is directly linked to the GDP growth. And some people have predicted even a negative recessionary one for the economy. So God only knows what that means for the automobile sales, because we're going into, as they say, uncharted territory here.
Correct.
None of us got any, frankly, if anyone tells you it's going to be a 40% degrowth, 20% degrowth, I'm not sure whether they really know what they're talking about. It's very difficult to make a prediction in this. All I can say is, next year, see, the next financial year, April onwards, should see a good growth on the previous year. April will start with zero. This year, April was zero. So whatever you do in April is going to be a bonus. And May also was a disaster because of the lockdown and other things. So considering all that, I would say that next financial year should see good numbers, but then overall we might be set back by maybe 10 years. So in case we sell, say, 2 something million, so we'll be back to, I think, what we were in maybe 2010, 9, 10, I believe, or I don't know. We'll be set back by quite a lot.
Correct.
But in terms of percentage growth, maybe next year the figures would be showing a slightly a rosy picture, even though it might not be as rosy as it in terms of overall the absolute numbers.
Tell us about the government expectations. Has the relief package benefited you in some way?
See, I think the government has done one part of the job in the sense that they injected some liquidity into the system. They tried that, and they tried to help the MSMEs and others. But the issue of demand generation has still not been done. But until the demand is boosted, I'm not sure how the MSMEs and other manufacturers will be in a position to actually utilize the funds that are available to them and start manufacturing, employ people. So it is, I think, part of the cycle is also in getting the demand boosted immediately. So because this was done, I think, in the last recessionary or the last crisis that hit us in 2008. What I remember at that time is I believe the taxes were reduced for some time, which boosted the purchases of vehicles among other consumer durables. So, and that had a very good impact. So what I would recommend in this case is, I mean, if you want to stimulate the demand, I think SEMA also has recommended that. One way is to reduce the GST for a limited period, for a 2-3 month period, and get the demand boosted all of at one go. And then I think the entire cycle will start playing itself out in a more positive way for everyone, including the government, because their revenue also will go up once the sales pick up.
If the volumes increase, the amount of GST will ultimately increase.
That's right. So I think government should think in those terms, or at least the other way is, okay, give a tax break for a customer who's buying a vehicle or who's financing a vehicle, like they do for a house loan. Or a taxpayer, if he's buying a vehicle, give him some depreciation benefit, because every guy has got to replace a vehicle maybe in 5 years. So without immediate outflow from the government, you can still try to boost the demand by using these sort of measures.
Tell us about Kia Care. How has the response been like from your customers on that?
So it's been majorly appreciated by the customers. So basically what we are doing is we are taking care of the customers. Okay, if you look at on a global way, we're looking after the customer's health. So making sure that it is very safe for him to actually come to our showroom or workshop and have his vehicle serviced. So we give him back. We sanitize the vehicle for free for the customer, and also give it back. When you give it back, it's totally sanitized, very safe for him. Obviously, our employees also are. We make sure that only. I mean, we take the temperature of the employees, make sure that they are totally COVID free when they're in the workshop and showroom. Also, we have these gloves and masks given distributed to our employees. So everything, and most importantly, the test drive cars, and like I said, the vehicle, the customer's vehicle also is totally sanitized before the customer actually uses it. I mean, and even after a customer does a test drive, we sanitize the vehicle immediately so that the next person is having a very clean and a safe vehicle to drive. So these are the initiatives that we have taken for making the customer feel comfortable in getting his vehicle serviced or coming to the showroom. So this has been majorly appreciated. So we are seeing, I think, traffic going up also in our workshop and also our showroom also.
All right. So tell us about things on your personal front. Have you resumed office again?
Oh yes, I think it's almost 3 weeks now. Of course, with the very less staff, limited staff, to keep the social distancing norm. But yes, I mean, it's actually in a way coming to the office after being seeing our colleagues for so long was a blessing actually. So most of us have appreciated it. It's going on pretty well now, and hopefully it'll improve going forward. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Bhatt. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for joining us today on Mashable Outreach.